Hi there, welcome to the latest discussions within the Noah Presgrove case. I wanted to do a response to one of the points made by Justin Roy, and it can apply to others over time, but I've questioned the theme of Noah Presgrove walking away from the party because he got supposedly mad from the bedroom debacle, being rejected, not being able to sleep in one of the girls' beds, so decided to walk off, and then whatever happened to him. Is it normal for that to normally take place? Is that a normal response from Noah? I just want to work that out today and also share with you previous points made by other witnesses, partygoers such as Jasmine Milan. And I know some people could roll their eyes back at the sound of her name, but we also need to make reference to what Caden Pressey has stated too, from what we heard from the private leaked interview. All that is going to come together today, but be sure to stick around from start to finish of the video to get that full understanding, and then you'll see where I'm coming from. Welcome to those that are currently here in this live premiere. Be sure to make use of the live chat on the right hand side, and by the end of this video, whether you agree, disagree, have questions, drop a comment down below under this video. It will help with spreading awareness of this video and so more people can see it, and I'll try and respond back if there's time. Down below you'll find a pinned message as well by me with additional links if you do want to support my channel. Yesterday, Wi-Fi did go down, but luckily there was time to upload it later. Hopefully it goes better today though, because I do need to use internet for efficiency. But that aside, if you are interested in recent coverage by me, such as the video last night, you'll see that top right corner screen where the eye symbol is. Click up there and you get the drop down box with the full playlist. So today we're going to start with first what Justin Roy had to say, his comment, analyse, respond, and then add on with the extra details. Let's begin. So this comment was posted 12 hours ago on my latest YouTube video. Justin says, why would Noah get mad and walk off because he couldn't sleep in a bed when he slept on the floor Saturday night? That's a fair point. Seems like they also got every scenario covered. Do I agree with that? Not quite, because when it comes to every scenario or the supposed event timeline, it's not quite in sync with one another, and like with how certain partygoer stories don't quite add up with one another, even though they're all at that place. I wouldn't say it's like planned in a smooth fashion, in my opinion, at this moment in time. Justin says, wonder if Noah was possibly washed 2 times that night. So I guess when Justin says that night, he means Monday morning early on. So the shower being the first wash, the second one being maybe wash down of evidence if you're thinking it's along the lines of a murder scenario. Okay. But isn't there like a photo of Noah and Jack at a certain time Monday morning where they appear, well, Noah still appears to have writing on his body, but then there's another piece of footage or photo of Noah with no writing on him, even though maybe on the same day. That's a separate thing we probably need to get into, but let's hold that for now. Justin says, I'm also curious about the time Noah was running around after the shower. We were always told right after the shower is when he was trying to get in bed with a certain female, Avery, but she wouldn't let him. Now, after the shower, he's running around having fun, teabagging, eating, then all of a sudden he wants to go to bed. Something seems off to me personally. All of that in a short space of time. Sure hope the truth comes out soon. I mean, yeah, it's quite a tight fit to include all those events which then lead up to the 3:30 timestamp. I mean, at least from what Caden said, 2:40 a.m. is the timestamp of the side-by-side rollover. So it's in between 2:40 to 3:30 a.m. Monday morning, 3:30 when Noah actually walks off, supposedly. Is that a tight time frame to fit everything in within all that, or what? You can leave a comment down below. Moving on to the next slide to counter Justin Roy, or challenge him to an extent, is a reference by Jasmine Milan, as we've seen previously in the past, and this can be reinforced with Caden Pressey, but be sure to stick around for that. This was originally posted on Facebook November 3rd, 2023, a follow-up upon a reflection of the 3:41 a.m. timestamp Snapchat post, where she announced that, well, Noah's missing from the party, while smiling off the camera lens, not quite direct eye contact. People saw it as suspicious at the time and weird. In terms of her direct response when zoomed in, she says, "I just want to make something very clear. I posted this picture to Snapchat not knowing that the worst was going to happen, not knowing Noah would never come back. It was normal for Noah to wander off. Nobody thought he wouldn't be back. So don't even think for a second just because I posted that means I know what happened to him, because I'm just as clueless as everyone else. I'm sick of it. Noah was my friend. I loved him so much. It hurts that people could even think any of us could have done anything to hurt him. We all loved Noah, and we have told the authorities everything that we know. Y'all think y'all have it all figured out. Y'all don't. Someone is really whatever." Whilst that post by Jasmine Milan didn't directly refer to the true motive, what caused Noah to wander off, just a general theme of, it's normal for him to do that more than once. It was further backed up or reinforced by Sarah Long, sister to Stevie Howard on Facebook, who defended Jasmine Milan in the past on Facebook, reinforcing, saying, "Oh yeah, and you told us along the lines that the day before or the night before Noah Presgrove wandered off. You were trying to look for him, you found him, brought him back to the party house." So it's interesting that there was a level of concern for partygoers to search for Noah the night before, but when it came to Monday, when Noah walked off and didn't return back, everyone just assumed, he probably made it back home, there's no need to search for him. That's the one area which is a bit grey and a bit dodgy, to be honest with you. But just a general theme of, it's normal for Noah to walk off. Is it really? Well, how could Sarah Long know? Because she wasn't there herself. She's not a party goer. But when it comes to Jasmine Milan, who is, and to an extent, I guess, a witness, she should know more, right? But not everybody believes in her. When Jasmine Milan mentioned it's normal for Noah to walk off, I think quite a few people in the community thought, oh, here we go, trying to play it down, minimise it, make it seem all normal when it's really not. And that someone like Noah, who wanted to go home but was denied and rejected, probably was getting uncomfortable or frustrated, and who knows what was happening. But to settle things down, right? I said the motive for why Noah walked away is mainly only linked to the bedroom debacle, and it seems like a weak reason for Noah to get mad in that sense. But maybe he didn't get mad, just a little frustrated. And with him being drunk, depends how people respond when they're drunk. They might take things out of proportion, or they feel worse than if they were sober and being rejected from a simple request or a small scale one. Either way, it would have been useful to track and monitor the previous nights or earlier on in the day, much earlier, when supposedly Jasmine told Caden, and Caden mentioned in his private interview that between 2 to 3 in the morning, Noah wandered off. Well, if that's true, he would have had to have returned back to then go through the shower situation, the sleeping debacle, and then walking off one final time at 3:30, constantly coming and going. Is it because Noah's uncomfortable, erratic behaviour, wanting to leave, a bit restless, frustrated? Could be all kinds of reasons. The other thing we need to acknowledge is, when it comes to the bedroom scenario of being rejected, that one event may not be enough to get Noah mad or very frustrated, but it could just be a trigger point, as in a build-up of previous things going on throughout the night, the days before, with arguments or misunderstandings, or just not being given the chance to be driven back home. You get what I'm saying? It's like, just in life, a person could reach a breaking point, snap, break down, whatever, and then other humans about could say, are you really getting upset over that? Something so small scale and meaningless? You're so weak, you're so sensitive, getting so upset about it. That's the typical ignorant, pathetic, cancerous mindset. Reality is, when it comes to an individual, that small scale event by itself may not be enough to throw someone over the edge or break them down completely. But if that small scale event, encounter, which is negative, occurs at the very end of such a timeline of unfortunate events and negative encounters going on in a person's life, it could be enough to reach that breaking point, right? And what tends to happen is, majority of the human race will only see, acknowledge, or be present during a time of a small scale bad event which causes someone to react really badly, and then people just assume that that's the only reason and it must make them very weak or easily triggered. But that's not always the case. There's a lot of other, backup shit going on with time. But yeah, that's just humans for you. So if you used to apply it with Noah Presgrove, yeah, it seems clear that Noah was okay sleeping on the floor next to Logan Jernigan, possibly. That's a problem, though. Noah could well have slept on the floor without any issues, but next to Logan Jernigan doesn't quite make sense. That's a separate thing, but just to highlight it briefly, Logan was living there at the time. She had her own bedroom, her own room. Why would she sacrifice that and sleep on the floor with Noah? Makes no sense, unless she wanted to be closer to Noah and had to sacrifice her bed for the floor, so it didn't seem too suspicious, because Avery did say the following day, I guess that's a Sunday, you didn't do anything together, did you? Because I'll kill you. Maybe not meant with true intent, but still, you can see where that goes. But nevertheless, if Noah was perfectly fine with sleeping on the floor, then why should he have such a big issue the next day or going into Monday? Why should it be a problem all of a sudden now? Maybe it's because of previous events which have built up since. Saturday, somewhat okay, but it was the beginning of a dysfunctional time to a small extent, with Noah having a go, yelling at Jack because Jack flirted with Noah's girlfriend and may have done more than that at the party or days, weeks before. Who knows, but that's what supposedly happened. Caden Pressey stated that. He witnessed it. Isn't that interesting? Mentioned in the private interview. With Caden referring to Noah having an issue with Jack and not it being the other way around, kind of sets the tone for how the party was going to go onwards, whether it be an eye for an eye and other conflict with the themes of girl trouble and bits and bobs along the way. Who knows, the shower link too. That's just a little sub factor. But if Noah feels like he's been betrayed by his best friend, stabbed in the back, not going to feel too good about that. It's going to be on his mind to an extent. And then in between, any other bits and bobs, problems, any encounters or arguments or misunderstandings, being fished hooked by Mikey Lair, may have not been too pleased with that. And then I guess the next prominent one, the side-by-side rollover, probably not feeling too good with that to an extent. And whether anyone had an issue with him after that as well, as in passengers, endangered lives, whether they cared or not, that's another question. Noah wanting to go back home, taken home to his place of living so he can probably get a shower, a proper one, maybe get some food, and or get some proper sleep in his own bed. Because as we know, at the party house, he's sleeping on the floor. So maybe past a certain point, as with the days rolling on and how he's felt, and with the side-by-side, then being rejected, as in not being able to go back home, it's like, I've got to stay here, I've got to sleep on the floor. Right, let's negotiate. Maybe not outwards, but more internal thinking. Noah, right, if I've got to stay here, I've tried, I've reached out to many people and no one will give me a lift back home. I can't be in the comfort of my own house or people around me. I can't sleep in my own bed. Next best thing, I'll sleep in one of the girls' beds at this party house so I can get a proper sleep, rest my body if I am a bit sore or uncomfortable from what went on earlier, let's just put it that way. And what happens? Noah doesn't get what he wants. I mean, people are allowed to reject someone if they ask, can I sleep in your bed? Because it's just a bit full on and all of a sudden, isn't it? Maybe the exception would be the reason why Jack could be close to Carter because they were a couple at the time and it's pretty normal being in the same room and getting close. But with Noah and Avery, I guess it's a bit questionable because it seems on, off, not together, but together, or supposedly getting intimate, all kinds of wacky stuff. But in terms of Avery's mindset, supposedly was, I don't want you being in my bed because I'm not too sure about Logan, whether you've been with her or not. Says, didn't want to be a rebound. Okay, so Avery and maybe Logan had their reasons, fair enough. Noah, in a way, should respect that. But, you got to take in the fact of being drunk. How does Noah respond to those situations, whether it be rejection, whether it be not getting something what he wants, whether it be a bit of conflict, a misunderstanding. You know, the senses, the emotions can be heightened and increased, especially when you're drunk. I'm not saying that Noah gets aggressive when drunk, because I wouldn't know. But people, just in general, can change when under the influence of alcohol. They may lose a bit of self-control. They might take things out of proportion. So is that the correlation with Noah? Whenever Noah is drunk and things happen, or not seen eye to eye, or there's a little bit of conflict, or you don't get what you want, then goes off in a huff and a puff and walks away, cools off, cools down, and then eventually returns back. It would seem somewhat understandable. You could say it's good that Noah can actually take himself out from the situation and environment, so it doesn't impact him further or anyone else around. And then once it's settled, he returns back. Over a sleeping arrangement when he was okay Saturday but not Monday, you could say it's hard to believe. My only question would be, when Noah had to sleep on the floor Saturday, was Noah as drunk as he was on the Monday morning? That could tie in with the emotional responses and how he picks up to things and signals. If there's not much of a change and he was drunk either way, then you look at the next factor of reaching that breaking point. Noah didn't get what he wanted beforehand. Noah didn't get his wish granted to be taken home to the comfort of his own place of living, to sleep in his own bed and do whatever that needs to be done. And on top of that, to top it off the list, cherry on the top, can't even sleep in a bed here. What's the point? I can't go anywhere. I can't do anything. Maybe that's what was going through his mind. And that smaller scale event, which people say it's hard to believe that's what would send Noah over the edge. It's not just that as an isolated event. It's what's happened beforehand as well. The BS, the rejections, and maybe more as well, which we've not heard of. That's the way I see it. But in terms of like what Jasmine said, normal for Noah to wander off. And we basically said in the past, what? At the party multiple times? What about in the past previous parties? Besides what Sarah Long says, because she wasn't there, she's not a party goer. Jasmine Milan is, and to an extent a witness, and maybe past parties as well. But that's not good enough for most people, is it? Because most people would question Jasmine Milan and be sceptical, fair enough. But ever since that private interview, which was leaked, hacked, Caden Pressey's, was it June, with the police, what Caden said was in line with what Jasmine Milan said. Oh, does that mean Jasmine Milan influenced Caden in a negative, false way? No, Caden said in his own words. And, you know, like I showed you some screenshots here and there. I would show you the audio right now, but the reason why I'm not is because it is currently available on YouTube. But the channel it's located on is a channel which seems to have a very negative, unhealthy obsession with me. And there are some viewers and some members on my channel that are over there like little rats. And I know exactly who those are. Cleansing will take place, don't you worry about that. But I just wanted to give you a context where it's coming from. I know some people say, back it up with proof, back it up with evidence. I'm not on this occasion directly, because you can go and find it yourself. Just believe me when I tell you, from what I've witnessed, from what I've seen and heard, the actual audio itself of the interview, Caden Pressey stated it as it's normal for Noah to wander off, and he's done it in the past parties, especially when he's drunk. That's when it tends to happen. Well, there we go. Reinforces what Jasmine Milan says. If people are quick to nod their heads and agree with what Caden states, well, then they should be more in line with what Jasmine Milan has stated as well then. If Jasmine Milan worded it first as in, Noah wanders off, it's normal, Sarah Long backs her up, most people are like, no, we don't believe in that. Then Caden Pressey says the same exact thing. What are people going to do now? Are they going to react and say, yes, 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 yes? Is what we're talking about. The consistency. More than one party goer acknowledging Noah's tendencies and his routines, what he would normally do and how he would normally react. And with that pattern of being under the influence of alcohol and then walking away to cool off, it's probably because a little bit of lack of self-control, heightened emotions, taking things out of proportion, typically when drunk, leading to a bit more frustration, agitated and things like that. So it seems consistent then, it seems more believable that, yeah, Noah has wandered off. But as said, I want to link back to the grey area by Sarah Long saying how, oh, the night before Noah wandered off as well, and you went looking for him, you found him returning back to the party house. So obviously there was a level of concern on that occasion, but not the same amount of concern the following day, Monday. That is a little bit dodgy, because if the night before you were concerned to look for him because he was taking too long to return back, well, by Monday, when he walked away for the very last time and it went beyond a certain time limit, should have started searching, and if that was unsuccessful, reported him as a missing person. You see that progress of caution and concern for a smaller scale event. Then the next bigger one, there should be the same reaction, if not greater. Yet that wasn't the case. That is questionable. That is a bit dodgy, I'll be honest with you. But in terms of the theme of walking away and the bedroom debacle being the cherry on the top, the final breaking point, to cause him to walk away with what's happened previous, I could understand that. It makes more sense. And Cade and Pressy indirectly backing up Jasmine Milan. As said, there is audio of it. It is on another channel. The actual video audio shouldn't have been released publicly, but some decided to do it against other people's wishes or so. As said, if I did it myself, who knows the issues that I could come across. And it's not just that. People could say, well, screw it, it's public anyway, who cares now? Yeah, but what's one gonna do? Get a copy of it where it's from on YouTube? What does that do? Give someone else ammunition to copyright claim, copyright strike? Exactly. I know how it goes. It's not worth it. But because I do have a memory like an elephant, and I'm sure some of you would have already witnessed it with Cade and Pressy's leaked interview, I think most people would have done. Just to reiterate, Cade and Pressy did say it was normal for Noah to wander off, to cool down. So why would it be hard to believe when at 3:30 he supposedly walked off at that point? And before that, it was to do with the sleeping situation. I mean, I don't know if there have been any follow-up from Noah running about after the shower teabagging people, if anyone got frustrated by that or felt violated, disrespected and had a go at Noah, or if after that energetic spurt of running about, if he reached a bit of a dip, a bit of a low and lost that energy, then it was a little bit moody. People go up and down like a roller coaster at times, especially if you're drinking alcohol and stuff, the come down effect. As it wears down, and if you did more or drunk more, it could go back up again. It depends how people react to levels of alcohol and other things taken, ingested, whatever. So hopefully Justin Roy gets an idea of, where I'm coming from in today's video. Whereas in the past it was just Jasmine Milan stating this and that, and can we really believe her? And then Sarah Long too. The fact that Cade and Pressy had said the same thing, pretty eye-opening, isn't it? Now, as for direct motives, as in the bedroom tobacco being the sole reason, it's not been clearly worded like that all the time. We haven't got the consistency there. But the belief that, other events and other times Noah's wandered off for whatever reason, it could be a small scale thing, it could be a petty thing. The more times it happens, the more likely it's possible to be with the bedroom scenario too. So hopefully I've explained it clear enough. I just wanted to give different perspectives and whatnot. Be sure to like and share this video so more people see it. This was more of a focused, themed one today, and you can tell by the title and the thumbnail. So my name's Wally Raff. I'll see you next time, but goodbye for now.